what can I create that will draw people's attention and eyeballs and dollars and all those things? One of our companies, Important Looking Pirates, won an Emmy last year for its work on Shogun. The part that they won for was this landslide sequence, all done in CG. You couldn't tell that story 20 years ago. That's what our ultimate value proposition is. If you're investing in mediocre quality and mediocre prices, you're not going to do well in this new world that we live in. And that's both true for visual effects companies, for our customers in the studio level, but all throughout the ecosystem, right? This is an industry where the top 5 or 10% of content garners 80 or 90% of the economics. That's true of movies, that's true of TV, that's true of YouTube, that's true of TikTok, that's true of theatrical productions. I mean, it's true in every single form of media. And I think that you have to position yourself so you are in the top 10% in terms of quality, in terms of telling those stories. Previously, you had, as a founder of a visual effects company, and these are typically creatives, you had two paths, right? You had one path where you stay independent and you're a small company and all of the difficult things about being a small company, or you sort of sell out and go to a larger brand, you lose your identity, but really nothing like a dream machine where you could have the best of both worlds, where you could bring together smaller, really highly regarded boutiques, but also give them the advantages of scale and business efficiency and access to capital markets. For a founder, that could be having a way to keep their brand identity without giving up their financial strength. For a client, it may be, ease of access to, a stable of brands that, all mean different things that they use in different ways. And for the talent, I think it means, being able to work at a boutique kind of on a day-to-day creative basis, but also know that you have, the financial backing of a global business, right? So I think it means different things to different people, but I think that's kind of, where you find the best investment opportunities. The way that we've built Dream Machine has been very deliberate. When we entered in 2021 and 2022, there was a lot of investment in the 2D compositing and somewhat on the more, let's call it everyday low price side of things, right? Efficiency value. We actually thought that the more interesting part of the market and the underinvested part of the market was the higher end 3D part of the market, right? And I can see why the investment was on the 2D side. It's actually a higher margin business. It's more predictable in its margin profile. But we thought that the 3D side of it was harder. The barriers to entry were greater. You could do things that no one else could do. And ultimately, that was the more durable place to invest. And it was underinvested in. So Dream Machine really from the beginning has been an aggregation in the higher end quality of the spectrum. I think it's quality and talent. The first thing that we look at always is the reel. Like we start with the reel and we say, what are they working on? How recent is this work? And how difficult and unique is this work relative to other vendors in their market, in the world, and so on and so forth. From there, of course, like we do the financial review and form evaluation, all those things. But we think that the leading predictor is always how good is the work. It's always about the quality. It's all about the quality of the talent and just ultimately what's coming out on the pixels on the screen.